Yep. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all been? Man, look, good to see you. Good to be with you. Thank you. It's BG here. What's up? Getting back with you. A new wrinkle on the brain. Let's get it in. And you know what? No intros for this one. We doing it real. We gonna keep it very serious because today's a big day. So we're gonna do some things real quick. I'm gonna get the intro popping, and then yep, we're gonna jump right in. Let's go.
Welcome back to a new Wrinkle on the Brain with your host BG, where we bring you classical sounds and also classical information for the classical mind. Now, without further ado, we bring you an update from the Wrinkle itself. It is something that we must and should have done quite some long time ago. Without further ado. So it turns out that America is a entity and a group of Americans that are full of chaos. We do love ourselves some good classical, but however, we love the chaos. Now, as we delve deeper into the wrinkle, we will find that there's more to life than what we would have assumed. More to what we've been taught, what we've learned over years, over time, and over millennia. Is it possible that maybe UFOs are true? Is it possible that maybe a light body could just appear in front of you that is not from you? Maybe we can speak even more about those very silly deep state. Welcome to a new wrinkle on the brain.
I'm just, boy, I'm elated, boy. I'm telling you, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Be careful. Yeah, be careful when I'm feeling good, because when I'm feeling good, usually the best wrinkle happens. So we're gonna do some things today. I'm very excited. It is going to come with some darkness. It is not going to be a nice, happy wrinkle. Similar to the first wrinkle that I ever did, one of the first episodes I ever did, I began this whole podcast on one of the darkest things you could ever talk about. I began this whole journey due to Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. And when looking up the data about it, when looking up the info, it was like, oh my gosh, like what? Oh my God, how could this be serious? He wasn't even arrested yet. I don't even think he wasn't even going to trial. I just heard about the case. I heard about his sweetheart deal. And that was the catalyst for me, kind of beginning a lot of what I'm doing, and I heard a comment the other day, and I want to address it. And when it comes to pop culture, I think I just want to clarify some things. Okay, I've delved into a little bit of everything. The wrinkle on the brain is just that. It is a wrinkle on the brain. It is a thought, a process. Maybe I tell you something and show you something you've never seen before. I can even do a silly video about, they call me the ghost, and I'll let the CIA lady talk to you, and we can do that for hours. But you know what? I had to get back to basics. I had to figure it out, and I was like, you know what? Where I began is the best place. Don't stop now, because now pop culture is politics. Period. Anything you see in pop culture, it is politics. Like we have moved from things being, oh well, they like this and I like that, so I don't go over there. I stay over here, and everybody's good, man. Everybody's good. We're just having a good time. Okay, cool. Can't do that anymore. Why? Well, the why is politics. Very simple. Politics. And almost any question can be answered saying poor leadership and politics. So I mean, it's in every realm, it's in every unfortunately, it's in a lot of industries, sadly. But now we're seeing just how true it is when they make the comment, the emperor has no clothes. So don't take it from me. Take it from him telling you himself. This is just the most recent stuff. This isn't even everything he's ever done. Just gonna give you his recent stuff. Just this is our current leader of our nation. For those who are, I don't do politics. I don't care. Politics do you. Okay. I don't do voting. Well, voting does you. We're at a point right now where pop culture is now politics. And let me go ahead and show you to your leader. Here's your leader. Here's who we voted in last time. This is the guy that's currently the leader of the free world of the United States of America. This is what we have, the best we have. And yes, these are the words he says. Have fun.
The world. We cheer for Muslim athletes like Kareem and Joan Shingang. I'm going to pronounce right. Shanga Kawawa. Ban on transgender Americans.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate
it's great to have you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here. We'll have reaction.
I met alone with him, just he and I, and a simultaneous interpreter 68 times, 68 hours, 68 times, more than 68 hours. All right, God save the Queen, man.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We really appreciate it, and we love you. Thank you.
I might add, if I didn't, I'd be sleeping alone. Let's go late.
I just want to show you what we got to work with. Okay, this is what we got to work with, and it's trickled down. It's a trickle down type of thing. Some of us have a background in being around elderly people who have problems like this, dementia, sundowning. There's a lot of words for it. Now, what I would say is very simple. If pop culture, without Hollywood, without new movies, without a new TV show on TV, without a new late night host or a new late night TV show, which makes you laugh because it's funny, not because it actually kind of does propaganda. Now, we're left with very few opportunities to do things on any medium. If we're going to look at anything, unfortunately, besides sports, there's nothing new. The only new information is political. There's currently a writer's strike in Hollywood. There's an actor's strike. There was almost a shipping strike. Who knew? And I always hear that same comment. Oh, I never thought that happened. That's dumb. Very dumb of you. Now, the more I hear, I never thought that was going to happen. Well, I have to bring you back. I have to reel you back in. Kind of like a fish, I got to reel you back in. No. This is happening more often than you think. And it's not just your current leader who's having these types of problems. We also have even senators having whatever this is.
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
yes.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator Benny.
Yep.
Go ahead, outside. Come with us. Come on. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So that just happened. Yeah. That just happened. There is a senator right now, Mitch McConnell, the current leader of the GOP, which is also known as the Republican Party, or to most Democrats, those evil people. But when we get into conversations of different groups doing different things, I literally just showed you both parties. Fun fact. So for any Democrats out there, you can have fun with Biden. Go ahead and keep him and make sure he's warm and cuddly. Oh yeah, he likes ice cream. Also a sign of him having dementia. That's neither here nor there. But okay, so when it comes to what we're seeing, we're having this terrible display of leadership over and over and over. It's not new, it's not rare, unfortunately. And it turns out it seems to be really trickling down. Like, it's one thing when our, senators and presidents are doing this, but I mean, what if it's someone who's running for president? Ah, man. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but yes.
For more on all this, let's turn to Mark Simone, WOR radio show host, and Betsy McCoy, a New York Post columnist and former New York lieutenant governor. We could talk an hour about how this governor's doing, but let's focus more on what's happening in the city. You had a piece about this. Mayor Adams, he is cheerleading the city as, quote, thriving, saying it's working so well. Meanwhile, we're going broke because we're spending, just part of the reason we're going broke is we're spending $10,000 per migrant per week, and we have tens of thousands of the migrants here. I mean, I think we're going broke, aren't we?
New Yorkers know what a crisis it is. And what did the mayor do when the polls last week showed that it's a crisis? He launched a huge PR blitz, a propaganda blitz in social media, paid media, telling New Yorkers should be proud. They are welcoming the world. They are providing this services to all these migrants. All, of course, paid for by taxpayers, the media blitz, as well as the services to migrants. It was a real slap in the face to taxpayers. And the fact is that the mayor and the governor both lacked the backbone to tell President Biden to close the border. For example, this work authorization thing, this is just a political dodge. Kathy Hochul said last week there are 460,000 jobs available in New York, just the right number for all these migrants. It's the wacky notion that a migrant can do any job. Where are these openings? Nursing, computer specialists, data processing. The Pew Foundation shows that the vast majority of these migrants do not speak English and have no higher education.
And meanwhile...
So I'm going to go ahead and pause it there, because, again, I'm just at a real loss for words. And there was a time where we made fun of this. We made fun of this being a possibility. We assumed, sadly, this would never happen. And I just want to illustrate. This used to be a joke. What's currently happening in America used to be a joke. It used to be something we laughed at. It used to be a term of, what are you worried about? Oh, come on, no one's really here doing what you're saying they're doing. And it happened over and over and over until now we've made it here, where now this joke does not
Still more
land
immigrants from
the
the
same.
future arrived at the time border today, some even bringing their entire families. The purplish goo that they have on their bodies when they arrive is an ectoplasmic side effect of the time travel process. This is all giving scientists a great opportunity to learn even more about American life in the future. Chris Hall joins us now. Chris?
Yes, there are incredible things we're learning about Americans in the future, Aaron. It appears that in the future, Americans have evolved into a hairless, uniform mix of all races. They are all one color, which is a yellowy, light brownish, whitish color. It seems race is no longer an issue in the future because all ethnicities have mixed into one. Perhaps most interesting is how this has affected their language. The people in the future speak a complete mix of English, Chinese, Turkish, and indeed all world languages, which sounds something like this. Back to you, Aaron. Apparently the people from the future are having a pretty easy time finding work. Since they offer to work for such low wages, they're being hired all over America.
This is bullcrap! Well, I ain't standing for this! Well, might as hell! All right, folks, my name is Daryl Weathers, and I'm with the Construction Workers Union. I work with a lot of fine men who have families to feed. I don't know about y'all, but we worked long and hard to get our pay up to a level where we can make a decent living. And now these people from the future are showing up and offering to do the same work for next to nothing. They took our jobs! Yeah, they took our jobs! They did!
We're in the moving business. 14 years we've been working our butts off. Now these future folk come in and we can't get work nowhere. Well, they took our jobs.
They took your jobs!
They took your jobs too.
What about us in the fast food business? The restaurants are firing us because the future people work for a lot less. They took our jobs! They took your jobs! They took your jobs!
Took your jobs!
It's affecting kids, too. Me and my friends started our own snow shoveling business. We were trying to be responsible and make money, you know? But then the people from the future came along, and now we're out of work, too. Oh, they took our jobs!
They took your jobs!
They took your jobs! Took your jobs!
It used to be a joke. It used to be a joke. This idea used to be something so laughable. It was made into a cartoon and everyone watched it. This is at the time when cable was a thing. Unfortunately, we're not in any of those times anymore. Okay. Sorry to get all animated and uppity. But no, seriously, what in the real fuck? Okay, we made South Park correct. That's a fucking problem. That's a sign of decay. What? Just fun fact. What in the hell are you guys doing in Canada? How's Canada doing? You know, people look to, you know, the north and we're like, you know, Canada must be the getaway. I mean, we are, you know, we're not, you know, we're going through so much here in America, and it's really, really hard right now, you know, and people are just having a lot of different emotions about what's going on, a lot of different takeaways of what may be occurring. But when you find out what's going on in Canada, it's even worse than what's going on here. It's worse. It is far worse. We are on the realm of getting to Canada status. And when I say that, I don't say that nicely. I mean, I like maple syrup, but I mean, for the most part, I have no connections to Canada besides loving Norm Macdonald and Jim Carrey. And I like the people who come from Canada. How about that? You know, Mercules, Pat Stay, R.I.P. though. But no, seriously, I'm just thinking. Shit, we get Drake. Fuck. Damn. You would assume it's a place to go to, because shit, they give us Drake. Canada should be good. They also gave us Trailer Park Boys. Haha. That was fun. That was a good time for those who remember and knows who actually are above the age of 21. Okay, so hold on. So is there a possible issue with Canada? I mean, if I were going to move anywhere, me from Texas, the first place I'd look is north. Well, I mean, they must be doing great up in Canada, right?
There are regulated professions.
Okay.
And engineers, lawyers, physicians, psychologists, social workers, teachers. There's a few others. And if you're in a regulated profession, there's a professional body that governs professional conduct to which the public has access in case people misbehave. And so the Ontario College of Psychologists, it's college as in group, professional group rather than university. And it's the Ontario College of Psychologists that have decided to pursue initially 13 charges against me. They dropped 7. Why they dropped those 7 is a complete mystery, as is everything else they do. You can submit a complaint to the College of Psychologists online with a form. And so what's happened, at least in part, is because that's become so easy, it's become weaponized by activists. So, for example, if
Okay, so I'm gonna pause right there. I'm gonna pause right there. I don't know if you're following what you just heard. I had a little bit of a break there. I didn't get the sound happening at one time. I admit, my bad. However, we're becoming Canada status facts. I'm gonna let him say the first part one more time because I think that's really important. I'm noticing that's happening. I myself even. I'm looking for a job right now. You know, I'm like, hey, you know, let me find a good Monday through Friday situation, something that fits me, something that makes it best for me to excel, at least to bring in some income, support the family, support the podcast, things like that. I wanted to make some good changes in my life recently. And while I'm looking for jobs, I just kept hitting this barrier like, all they want is sales. The number's not right. Plain and simple. If you want me out there knocking on doors, you got to pay me some numbers. You understand? Like, I am not going to be out here for $15 an hour. Nope. It is 108 degrees outside every day. No. I live in South Texas. The answer is no. So, with that being said, you would assume, well, hey, other industries would have support in Canada. If I go to Canada, I'll have a, you know, maybe a working situation where I can have a whole entire political party that is called the Labor Party, and the Labor Party should make sure that I make good money if I go out to Canada and try and get a job. Now, I want you to take a real close listen to this real kind of quick piece a lot of people aren't really talking about. And this is the wrinkle, guys. This is the wrinkle. This is the wrinkle. This is gonna wrinkle break. This is gonna fuck you up. I want you to listen real close to what he says here, because he said something, and I'm like, what? So every group has a judicial board? I thought Canada was cool. I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm gonna let him explain it because he explains it in detail, but he obviously he's putting himself into it. Just for some clarity, he's talking about the current case against him, Jordan Peterson. The guy who told us to clean up our room, okay? If you've never seen the video, please go look it up. I am not going to do it here. Go on your own. Do your homework. You will have homework. That's what the wrinkle is. It's all the time. All right, the wrinkle never stops. But no, seriously, please check out the speech he gives. It's called "Clean Up Your Room," or you know, it something to that effect. You know, clean your room. You know, or I think it's called the purpose of a man, or like there's a lot of things he says, you know, for a man to get success, clean your room before performing actions for others, or even before changing someone else's home. So if you're up in political office, he explains in detail in an amazing speech. Just put in Jordan Peterson, clean up your room. It'll pop right up. It is amazing. That same person is being told something a lot of us wouldn't be cool with. I think we should understand what that is. But I'm going to first let him explain all of the groups of work. So in Canada, there's certain groups and factions. So in America, we have Democratic Party, the Republican Party, that's it. In Canada, they have a parliamentary system where there's multiple groups. So you have a Labor Party, Green Party, your Republican Party, Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? Like every group gets a place in the parliament to speak. I've heard a lot of people say that they want this to happen to America. I'm gonna let you know right now. Fuck Canada and fuck whatever the fuck they're up to. I'm not fucking down, and plain and simple, I'm not gonna sign up for it. If you're down with that shit, move to Canada, guys. But before you move to Canada, I think you should understand how the market works. So, if you're having any stupid ass idea of moving to Canada, oh, I'm done. I'm done with America. They're talking about helping Trump get back in office. I am done. I'm moving to Canada. Oh, are you? That's cute. Listen up, because he's about to educate you real quick. One more time. Mr. Peterson, if you don't mind, give me that one more time.
And if you're in a regulated profession, there's a professional body that governs professional conduct to which the public has access in case people misbehave. And so the Ontario College of Psychologists, it's college as in group, professional group rather than university, and it's the Ontario College of Psychologists that have decided to pursue initially 13 charges against me. They dropped 7. Why they dropped those 7 is a complete mystery, as is everything else they do. You can submit a complaint to the College of Psychologists online with a form. And so what's happened, at least in part, is because that's become so easy, it's become weaponized by activists. So, for example, if you want to cause anybody who's a professional trouble, all you have to do is submit a complaint to the college. The college will look into the complaint, every complaint, and then decide whether they'll proceed. Now, they're not supposed to proceed if the complaints are vexatious or, just troublemaking, but they've decided that me complaining on Twitter about Trudeau, for example, is unprofessional and a disgrace to the profession, which is essentially what I've been charged with, is being a disgrace to the profession.
So it's trying to hold up what they presume is some esteem of the profession.
That's the theory, and some professional standards. And I would say for decades that system actually worked pretty well because the people who sat on it weren't ideologically addled and the public wasn't using it in a weaponized manner. But that's changed completely. And now every professional in Canada, and I believe that to be true essentially without exception, unless they're on the far left, are completely unwilling to ever utter any opinion about anything in the political or their professional realm, especially in relationship to medicine and psychology. The physicians, now the Ontario College of Physicians is partnered with the Ontario College of Psychologists to go after me because they're also afraid that if I was victorious in this, their idiot mid-level bureaucratic power would be diminished. And I've had conversations with many physicians in particular who've told me flat out that they'd like to publicly support me, but they can't afford the tremendous legal costs and the lengthy inquisition that's a consequence or the possible suspension of their license. And so
you're going to probably have to go this alone in some way.
I do have people who have presented themselves as interested parties on the legal side. There's the Canadian Civil Liberties Union is one of them. There's a Justice CCF, I believe now they're going to be irritated at me for not remembering the name, but I can't remember it at the moment. There's a number of groups who are pro-free speech, let's say, who've also weighed in on my side, but the court didn't take their concerns with, they didn't make their concerns paramount, let's put it that way.
Woo! So, even if you had somebody backing you up, as a professional at the level of doctor, professor, within the academic profession, anywhere within Canada, you're already going to have a problem. Oh, yeah. Notice what he also mentioned. Anybody with a license. That means any license. That means a driver's license, your CDL, insurance sales license. Boy, you could be out there just trying to get a license to do work and you want to have a standalone business. Guess what? Food trucks aren't exactly welcome in Canada. You understand me? Anybody who wants to emulate another country, I'm going to tell you right now, look into the country first. Please look into the country first. A lot of people are saying some wild, outlandish things, and I'm like, oh my God, huh? Why would you say such a thing? I mean, it's alarming. Like, it's truly alarming. It's like, oh, you want that? The fuck is wrong with you? But I keep it contained. I keep it professional. We all do that. We go to work and we're keeping it professional. We're keeping it super pro. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get that money. Hey, how you doing, Jenny? Oh, okay, cool. What's up? Hey, what's up, Bob? Hey, man, Bob. Hey, you get that thing? Yeah, I got that thing. Appreciate you though. when you walk through the office, it's a different type of swag. You know, it's a different type of it's a nice little vibe. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as someone brings up politics, the vibe's done. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that? I mean, have you heard that? It's happening, man. Like we getting scared of ourselves and shit. Like, really? I caught myself editing a post on Facebook and a post on Twitter because it was going to go to both, right? I was going to do that for the podcast. And I was like, you know what? For the podcast, I need to make sure it says this on the Facebook, but it says this, which I can say whatever the fuck I want. And I say some wild shit on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Fuck with that shit. BG on Twitter. Find me at What the Diddly. That's the tag. I ain't even playing with you. What the Diddly. It's all one word. WhatThaDiddley. Put the EY. That's me. And yo, What the Diddly, yo. What the Diddly on Facebook. I'm sorry. What the Diddly on Twitter, aka X. I ain't gonna lie to you. The app needs to change its color or some shit. Like, yo, that shit looks like porn on my phone. Feel me? Like, it's not that it is porn. I mean, there's porn on there, but no, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, plain and simple. Elon Musk, please try to not make it look like porn. Appreciate you. But no, I mean, seriously, like, it's really fucking wild right now. And again, I can hear you on your side. I can almost hear you thinking it. But I'm not political, bro. I don't even do politics, dude. Okay, I get that. But here's the problem. There's nothing else to do. Give me something else to do and I'll do it. I'll cover football results. I don't care. Here's the kicker. I will not get endorsements from that, and NFL will sue me. So no, I'm not gonna cover football. Oh well, I'm just I just want to check out, like, music reactions. Have fun with that. There's plenty of music reactions you can go get. Oh yeah, fun fact. Some of those reactions suck. Just saying. Not sure if you're aware. Now, I am a fan of music. Never get it twisted. I love music. However, I will say this. There are some terrible reactions out there. And I mean terrible. And it's, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? But I mean, I just, some of these people who want to attach things to the music really have a hard time understanding what the song is about. Now, I can do this a couple different ways. So I'm going to have some fun. Give me 1 second. Oh. Let's go. All right. Let me compose myself. So, for everybody out there who's mad at this Oliver Anthony character, this person who's making music, who's doing it organically, who's doing it for a purpose, who's really has a message, whether you like the message or not. Just remember, the song was called WAP, and no one said anything about it. But anyway, yeah, I think this is the best takeaway I've ever seen. And yes, I want you to be aware. It's hilarious if you believe he's racist. It's actually funny because now it turns out it's the best way to show if you're a racist. If you hate that song, you're racist. That's funny. I think it's funny. So what happened is, very simply, you being against a national anthem in which that shows the distaste and disdain of a certain amount of people, whether it be a large amount or not, the music was sent in a way and with an intent to provoke the audience. Without further ado, let's provoke the audience a bit.
Hi, I'm one of the rich men north of Richmond, people in DC. Ever hear of us? The new song Rich Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony is spreading a lot of misinformation about us very wealthy yet very caring individuals who happen to live north of Richmond. It's the #1 song in the country and we don't like it. I mean, we're just out here selflessly trying to serve the public's best interest. But the song tries to paint us in a negative light, saying things like,
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
yeah, bullshit pay that helps people. It's in your best interest. How else are you going to own nothing and be happy about it? If you're paid well, you can't just own nothing, and getting paid well so you can own things, like, that's not going to make you happy.
Ha! Ha! Ha ha! We've remade things into jokes. It's great. It's great. There's some awesome stuff out here, guys. It's great. It's great. Because at this point, everything else is happening. It's funny. Why? Because it doesn't work. People see through the bullshit now. There's a lot of people who are fucking awake the right way. Not woke and like everybody should go get, injections and change their gender. No. We don't do that here. This is America. So, turns out, I laughed doing this one. Dude, this is one of the clearest moments of like, yeah, the propaganda didn't work. They're attempting it really hard. And I mean, bravo to those who do the propaganda. Bravo. However, you failed. Here's why.
Black voters matter! Black voters matter!
Cliff Albright and his organization Black Voters Matter helped turn out the vote for Biden in 2020.
Remember that the Black vote was instrumental all across this country. What you see is that Black voters still overwhelmingly are supportive of President Biden, although quite obviously that support has been going up and down and decreasing in some ways. And there's lots of reasons for that.
He's right. Roughly 9 in 10 Black voters supported Biden in the 2020 election. But today, a Washington Post Ipsos poll of more than 1,200 Black Americans show a drop in support. 7 in 10 approve of President Biden's job performance, and fewer than a quarter strongly approve.
When the nation catches a cold, our community gets pneumonia, right? Particularly, we're always the first ones impacted by economic downturns, and we're the last ones that benefit from the recovery. So at the end of the day, these economic issues are part of it goes into the mix of how Black voters feel about the president. What happens on issues of racial justice, like voting rights or like police reform, that also impacts the way that Black voters look at the presidency.
Those changes he's referring to have been slow in coming. That's in part because the Senate is split 50-50 between the parties, and the
Oh, okay. So, just in case you're not catching it, this is straight propaganda, right? Okay. So this is a form of propaganda, 100%. They gave you the data up front. They let you know what's going on. Hey, Black people are not liking what's going on. They're kind of not too keen on what's popping. But then they turn it into this more deeper political move of, we're going to explain why it's a 50-50 vote, why there was a very short margin during the voting session for president in 2020. Due to that, we now have a situation, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, it's going to be very difficult for any party to get a vote. I don't care which one you're on. I don't care who you back. I don't care. Here's some simple facts. AOC has passed nothing for New York City. People are waiting, and people are very, very patient. But the people of New York City are very angry at AOC. Why? Because AOC's done nothing. Bernie Sanders, he doesn't work for Delaware, which would have made a whole bunch of sense on why he didn't do anything at all. But if Bernie Sanders represents the area I think he does, he's also done nothing for his area. Now, this is just a couple examples. I can do the same thing for the Republicans. Ted Cruz, I'm not seeing anything down here in South Texas. Where you at, homie? I mean, we know you ain't in Cuba because they won't let you back in there. They're going to mess you up. But seriously, like, even, the Dan Crenshaws of the world. Hey, Dan Crenshaw, guess what? Your one eye does not make it to where we give a fuck about your fucking service. Here's the kicker. You're a dick. You're a complete asshole. You've already been fucking found out. And the way you treated veterans a while back, and you know who the fuck I'm talking about, you almost put a man to death. Yeah, I remember that. Dan Crenshaw almost put a veteran to death, to the death penalty, by the way. That person is now free and able to tell his story. He was wrongfully accused for a workplace accident that occurred on a military base. He was tried by JAG and released as innocent. Dan Crenshaw took it upon himself to make sure that this man sees justice, and he almost had the man go to prison for the rest of his life to go to death row. In Texas, we do death row. We kill you. We don't care. We about that life. However, if you didn't do it, you didn't do it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, if you're not liable, or, you know, if it was a workplace accident, workplace incident, let's say someone did the wrong action and ended up having an issue, casualty, fatality, things like that. Now, if that occurs on your watch, yeah, you're responsible for that watch. However, are you responsible for killing that individual? Not necessarily. You may not have been the person that did whatever needed to occur for him to expire, her to expire, whatever, him and her and all that. But no, seriously, I don't see where that person was liable, because it was a tank operation accident, something that occurred on a base. A whole bunch of variables exist there, and a lot of the situation does entail the sergeant who is being placed on this type of leave not only having incurred these injuries, but I think the story gets much deeper. If you want to find out why Dan Crenshaw is a complete dick, you can look it up through David Goggins. He has a lot of the data about it because it was a Marine. And also you can look up the local chapter for, I believe it's for Texas. It's a Texas, it was a, I don't want to use the word militia. It was a tank group, or a, not tank, but an army troop battalion that had this issue, and they do that training very, very close to San Antonio. I don't know a lot of the other details as far as the military services, things like that, but I do know for a fact Dan Crenshaw had a lot to do with someone who could have walked away innocent, found innocent by the inner judicial system of the military, and Dan Crenshaw still wanted to kill him. Very strange. Might want to look that up. Now, what I'm gonna do is just keep showing you that what we were sold was a false bill of goods. And you know what? The Mark Twain comment and quote comes to mind. It's easy to, what is something to the effect of, and this is a quote. I'm sure I'm getting it wrong. I'm kind of paraphrasing it. I'm going to put it in my own words. Mark Twain writes, and I do believe it was right after he won, right after they provided him an award. It was an award. He was doing a speech. During the speech, he makes this quote: "It's easy to fool a man who doesn't know they've been manipulated, or it's easy to fool a man who doesn't know," what was it? It's easy to fool a man who doesn't know they're controlled. It's harder to tell a man they're free when they don't know they're controlled, or like when they assume they're in control. So like there's a, I'm sure, again, I'm almost 100% sure I'm getting that wrong. But what I'll do, what I'll do to clear it up is we'll look it up. We'll get a wrinkle on the brain tonight, because I might need one as well. I think I got it. I think I found it. I think this is it. There's a couple good quotes here. I think I found the one. So I'll share this. Share the screen, share the audio. We're gonna do some audio here. I definitely don't. I don't think it's this one. It might be this one. Shit. Dang it. All right. I think it's this one.
Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't. Truth is.
Actually, whoa, that was deep. I think this works. It's not the quote that I'm particularly thinking of, but damn, this is good.
Stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't.
That almost like personifies everything that's going on politically. So, okay, pop culture is simple. Politics are simple, or even more simple. There's a whole thing for that. Hold on. Fairly sure I got that incorrect. There you go. That's the one.
Hello everyone, welcome to GameZo channel.
I don't know all that shit.
Mark
But anyway.
Twain say, it's
Sure.
easier to fool people than to convince them. Mark Twain said that it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled.
Woo! There you go. Now the AI said it correct. That's funny. They had to make the AI do it 2 times. That's hilarious. But anyway, yeah, one more time.
Mark Twain said that it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled.
Woo! Mark Twain was writing bars. That's what I'm back in 17 something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he was writing bars of fire. But I mean, seriously, or 18 something, sorry. But no, seriously, Mark Twain did a lot for America, did a lot for the good of writing style, literally being a journalist in a novel form, using again what a journalist would use, their eyes and what they see. He just reported what he saw. He reported what he heard. I don't think Mark Twain was out of point. I've heard a lot of people, oh, Mark Twain is racist. Shut the fuck up. Mark Twain said some racist shit. However, was he of that ilk? I don't believe so, because it was always his characters saying the words. There's always the, this character says this to this character. It wasn't Mark Twain saying it to you. We have to take the victim out of stuff, and that's a lot of the problem. A lot of what's happening right now is people are finding themselves a victim in some way and somehow. You're mad at me. No, we're not mad at you. We're mad at the fucking terrible leadership in the world. The leadership sucks. Fuck what you feel. It's the facts. The shit sucks right now. Again, don't take it from me. You ain't gotta listen to me all the time. Because guess what? I got other people that can tell you way better than I can. And I think a lot of people are gonna agree with what you're about to hear. Check this out.
I can always see it's always the white liberal that's always trying to tell us black folks who we're supposed to vote for, who we're supposed to side with, which is usually Democrats, and that, it's their typical white savior complex. Funny. Trump 2024, Karen.
To respond because I've had plenty of comments like this and more even in the past. I voted for Biden. That's probably why Trump lost. I'm one of them 7 million votes that he didn't get. Because I voted. Because I was told I was black and I should vote Democrat. So I voted Democrat. I'm not doing that no more. And after I'm witnessing them trying to take down Trump as much as possible to keep him from getting back in that White House, that makes me want to vote for him more and more and more. We need somebody in there that's real. Not these puppets like Biden. Biden is a puppet. He get in there and he get in front of that camera and he does what they tell him to do. Trump wasn't going to let them tell him what to do. See, that's why I'm looking back on all this shit now. And I'm not going to let another black person or another white person tell me who to fucking vote for. Trump 2024. That's all I got to say.
Woo! So, I mean, what are we doing, yo? What are we doing? Who we fooling? You know what I'm saying? Who we fooling at this point? Who's still falling for the game? You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's actually funny now. Now it's like, who drank the Kool-Aid? Like, we know who drank the Kool-Aid. And I mean, yo, I'm a non-sugar cat right here. You know what I'm talking about? I drink myself some water. Bye, y'all. Got my love. Bang, bang. Water, some ice. Boom. I ain't doing nothing crazy. But a lot of people drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people understood real early, real quick. You're black and you're supposed to. Now, because you did that, because you just did what you were told, I'm not one of them cats that didn't vote. Holla. But no, seriously, because we did that dumb shit, because we did believe a white person could tell us what to do, because we did believe that, oh, we're supposed to do this, do that, do this, do that. I need you to find out something. You might have fucked up. Oh, yeah. And if you thought you were doing it to help out black people, yeah, white folks, hey, stop trying to help out black people. Fun fact. Y'all ain't helping shit. Y'all fucking up. Anyway, let me go on. I'm going to let Black Conservatives perspective give you one more. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Foreman, go and take it away.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The mainstream liberal media is upset. Specifically, black folks, black liberals in the mainstream liberal media are upset because ever since Trump's mugshot, basically ever since he's been indicted, really, you've had a ton of black people come out on social media and basically declare that they are now supporting Trump, that they understand the political persecution that Trump is going through. They clearly see the corruption, and they're not going to stand for it. Plus, a lot of these black people voted Biden, and they regret voting Biden, like that woman at the beginning of this video clearly regrets voting for Biden because she was told, hey, you must vote for Biden or else you ain't black, okay? And it's not just Joe Biden that said this. It was the race hustlers of America as well, too, that always call blacks who are conservative or don't agree with Democrats sellouts, Uncle Toms, racial slurs, all type of things that, again, ignorant black liberals say because they're just mad that there are other black people out there that think differently than them. So, again,
I think I'm going to pause it right there. I'm going to stop it right there. Everything he said is factual. It's 100% factual. We were told what to do. We followed what to do. We got a bad bill of goods. We've been told what to do for a long time. And really, we were told early, we're going to make you motherfuckers vote for Democrats for the next 100 years. They weren't fucking around. And guess what? There's only two examples of that bullshit, Detroit and Chicago. We figured out a long time ago, at least in South Texas, you can't trust that bullshit. But I think what's also going to happen is what's simple right here. We're going to start seeing a lot of these people who pop up thinking they're talking for somebody. And they're saying nothing but racist shit the whole motherfucking time their mouth's open. Every time she opens her mouth, she's about to say something wild that ain't got nothing to do with the black population or the black culture. She feels that she has the cultural wherewithal because she's melanated that she can say some wild shit. We need to stop this right now. This is not cool. What she about to do right here, not only is it propaganda 101, this is CIA 101. We already did the videos on that. Go check that out under my playlist. Under, I do believe it's under it's under the main playlist on Spotify. If you go to and ring on the brain, I did the whole entire CIA background. The whole entire CIA background for the last 60 years? 50, 60 years? In that 60 years time, they explain to you exactly how they're able to double speak, meaning they say one phrase, but then use a second phrase to negate the phrase you just heard, but give you a thought process. Yeah, Joy Reid's perfect at that. She's been trained. She knows what she's doing. And guess what? She's going to say nothing but racist, wild stuff. Check it out.
That we've noticed coming out of MAGA Republican world. This is a party, after all, whose base is overwhelmingly the same demographic that gets its news from Fox. So let's just say not super diverse. But since...
I mean, we can pause it right there. We can pause it right there. It's not super diverse. Bitch, do you know how many motherfuckers really fuck with Tucker Carlson? Man, look. I'm telling you, this propaganda's cold as ice. And she's gonna keep going. Watch, check this out.
Since Trump came along in 2016, they keep insisting that because of him, Republicanism is booming among black people, despite there being no evidence of that. And as Donald Trump's troubles have gotten more intense, Republicans are leaning into a new twist on this narrative, namely that Trump being an accused felon has broadened his appeal with black voters.
I think this is endearing, especially many black men, to President Trump.
As one black lady I spoke with earlier today here in New Orleans said, Trump's a gangster. And that means.
And you know, it's funny. It's funny how they parse this up, because they parsed it up with a couple pieces where they actually do break it down. And I think the Fox News broke it down actually more concise, more clear, more level-headed than what Joy Reid's doing, because Joy Reid's telling you, if you believe anything on Fox, you're crazy and you're a terrible person. But the more you listen to the words they actually said on Fox, it doesn't sound too crazy. I don't know. Take a look for yourself.
Black Americans throughout our history have felt unfairly victimized by the system. Historically, there's some truth to that. The mugshot unintentionally created a bond between Donald Trump and black Americans. Over the weekend, with the help of mugshot merchandise, the Trump campaign raked in over $7 million. Today, my garbage man told me he's buying mugshot T-shirts for everyone he knows this Christmas.
Oh, bless your heart. It's critical Trump theory now.
Yeah. Get ready for propaganda. She's about to get real wild. Oh, yeah. When she does propaganda, she starts to squint one eye. She's a very bad tell. If you're ever playing poker with her, watch her left eye. She has a very weak left eye. She cannot tell the truth. She tends to squint it first when she's lying. Check this out.
And it doesn't stop with just co-opting black oppression. No, they are trying it with hip-hop culture, too. Remember back in the 1990s and early aughts, it was a normal thing for rappers to name-check Trump as a symbol for wealth and power. Nelly, Young Jock, and, of course, Kanye, who later, as the MAGA hat-wearing Ye, would be used by Trump to convince black voters that he wasn't racist. Trump in the Oval Office even pardoned Kodak Black and Lil Wayne. See, he's on your side, blacks. The irony, of course, is that his hip-hop avatar was based on a media-constructed lie, like Cribs and The Apprentice. Trump was never a billionaire. He wasn't a real estate king either. He just inherited a...
Oh, okay. Yeah, so as she's trying to belittle someone's business who definitely owns way more than her, he did not own Mar-a-Lago before owning Mar-a-Lago. You feel me? Like, Trump kind of bought that. Trump was kind of that dude that did that. Mar-a-Lago, Florida is a very large property. So large, it's literally its own zip code. But she's trying to let you know that, oh, he had a couple bankruptcies. So do a lot of companies. So do a lot of banks. So do a lot of mortgage companies that should still exist. Does anyone remember Western Mutual? Does anyone remember Southern Bell Company? I got one more. Does anyone remember Southwestern Bell? It's gonna get so racist. Check this out.
a lot of money, lost it, declared bankruptcy 5 times, and still got bank loans because he made himself famous. And his track record for racism goes back to the 1970s. So in that sense, he was doing what some rappers do, playing a role. And Trump's electoral strategy to win over black voters, or at least pretend to make white voters feel better about him, failed. But now it's a legal strategy, too. He's even hired lawyers.
But did he catch the eye? Did he catch the eye? Look, she did it. She did it. Watch the eye. She did it. She did it.
But now it's a legal strategy, too. He's even hired lawyers who defend rappers in court while yelling, defund the police. It's like they finally understand that systemic racism is real and systemic oppression is real. It just isn't real for anybody but Trump.
The next day.
And I guess all those like polls or phantom polls that show Trump has an increasing percentage of the black vote. That's all made up? I guess, oh, they don't like that. They're criticizing the Fox poll. I get it. But Raymond, the thing is, we have to all remember.
It's not just.
Hold on.
It's not just the Fox poll. There are others, Axios, Reuters. They're all saying the same thing.
Well, we have to remind everyone that you cannot be authentically African American in the eyes of some on the left if you don't subscribe to their views on a variety of issues. That's why they never.
She's telling the truth. Okay. This is a big one. I totally forgot about this. She's actually telling the truth here. So she's being racist for sure. But no. She's telling the truth in the way that if you are not of a certain your thinking, the way you think and the way we believe you think online, if you are not that, you're not Democrat. If you're not Democrat, you're a terrible person. I'm gonna let her display that bullshit one more time because it's pretty bad. So just check this out one more time. I just want you to be aware. She's telling you the truth. And as she's telling you the truth, she's saying it in the way of, oh, well, that's what the other guys want to do. No. That's actually what they're doing. She's going to explain to you the game. This is how the Democrats work. This is what the party that hates you is going to do. If you ever wanted to understand politics very, very quickly, it's very simple. Anything you hear from certain presenters, listen to their words and use the -1 option. So if we hear her say something and she's like, oh, well, the other guys want to do this, that, and the other, -1. If you -1 to whatever she says, it means flip it. If she's saying the other guys want to do this, no. She sounds like Alex Jones. What she's doing is she's actually telling you the truth of what the Democratic Party wants to do. Check this out.
It's not just.
Hold on.
It's not just the Fox poll. There are others, Axios, Reuters. They're all saying the same thing.
Well, we have to remind everyone that you cannot be authentically African American in the eyes of some on the left if you don't subscribe to their views on a variety of issues. That's why they never thought Clarence Thomas was authentically black. Tom Sowell was never black. Walter Williams, any of the people that we featured on our show, they're not real. They're fake, or they use phrases that are horrible, like Uncle Tom. So that's what they think. They're not actually authentic. So
she nails one topic while being racist about another. Yes, Fox is not the best news source. I will admit that. However, for a brief moment, we were literally told the truth. I mean, it's that clear. If you do not agree with certain things to the left, you will be left behind. The left will leave you. They do not care. They've left Bernie Sanders more than once when he ran for president. They've left Ron Paul. I'll even put in Dennis Kucinich. You need to really go back in time to understand how long the Democratic Party's been attempting to do what they're doing right now. And it might actually unveil why they killed Kennedy, but we'll get to that another day. Now, to the piece de la raison. To the next part. Yeah. No, seriously, this is going to be heavy. I want to put out some examples of things that just don't make sense. I love to give a wrinkle to someone that doesn't know what's going on. If you have not been following the Maui fire stuff, you're probably not going to understand what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to make it real quick synopsis. About 3 weeks ago, there was a large fire on the island of Maui, Hawaii. In this fire, there's some unexplainable stuff that happened. I'm going to show you some unexplainable stuff, all right? It's going to be kind of weird. But I need you to be aware. It's just tremendous. I need you to be aware. This is someone who's out there with a professional. They're on the ground. They're walking around. This is someone out here with a true, real deal professional, okay? So I'm gonna let him take it away. But I do want to make sure everyone's aware. Do not forget this story. The more that we go forward in time, the Maui story needs to stay very much so the forefront of what we need to do going forward. This is an example of something happening to where we can take control of what happens next. The more we sit back, nothing's going to happen. We need to speak up because there's a lot of stuff here that does not make sense. They need to make it make sense. I'm going to let him take it away from here, all right?
Link from David Crawford, and we're here reporting on what I believe is potentially a smoking gun of sorts. We just don't know what it is, but I'm going to show you the scenario of this car and what's surrounding it and how temperatures could reach this level, creating this amount of melting of aluminum. I'm here with Donovan. He is, I believe, a hero of sorts. Aloha, Donovan. Because he was the one that brought it to my attention that we have these very strange occurrences. We just shot down on the highway. I don't know if it was actually live, but we have it all recorded, so we're going to post it. We're at another one of these locations. So this is well above the burn zone, essentially, in a neighborhood known as Lahaina Luna. I'm going to show you around real quick so you can see the scenario and then judge for yourself. And again, if you enjoy content like this, I encourage you to please like the channel, subscribe, and share the video so you can get the truth of what's going on here at Maui. So where I'm at right now, just to orientate you, you can see the lights for the football stadium right there at Lahaina Luna. So we're right below Lahaina Luna High School in the neighborhood that did not, I repeat, did not burn. You can see all these houses are standing around here, unburned. There's no burn here, okay? So to me, this is like something out of a space movie, because you have this small field with some grass that burned, right? You can see where the grass burned. But then you have these two vehicles sitting in here that have melted aluminum. So Donovan, if you want to just take us through this car real quick and show us, I know you know a few things about cars, you can point out some things that require a very high temperature. By the way, we just talked to the neighbor who was talking to an investigator in Lahaina Town yesterday, and he said the investigator told him the temperatures reached in excess of 3,000 degrees. So tell us what you got, Donovan.
Well, we have about 300 degrees for aluminum, and this
300?
1,300.
1,300, okay, thank you.
1,300, well, 1220, but if you round it up, because it was not only melted, it was liquefied to the point where it became a river of aluminum going down the dirt hill.
So this is the aluminum rim, obviously. There's the tire, what's left of it, the steel threads or steel belts.
And maybe combination gas tank if the gas tank's aluminum.
Okay, okay. So you have liquefied aluminum running down the side of a grass fire.
The caliper melted, unless they stole it, but it looks like the bolts are still there. So that, and then you get the belt, the steel belts of the tire, which is just a bunch of a wire mesh laying there, and you have the windows that were melted, the back window. If you look at the big old, like almost like
the glass is just melted.
Yeah, it was
dripping.
This is almost what you would see if you put a car in an incinerator.
But this is not surrounded by a bunch of structure fires or anything.
Yeah, there's no fuel.
So besides the gas that was in the tank, what's your theory on what could create temperatures of this level in the middle of a field?
Anomaly, I think is the word.
So this is the second anomaly that
yeah,
you're
it's
saying.
just, that's why I stopped. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, house. Nothing's burned. And then you have melted steel and glass. And then the only thing that is left is the steel, the thick steel frame, and then the steel sheet metal.
So just in case you're not catching what I'm trying to put out there, y'all need to understand, everywhere around them is green. Like the trees are green. They're green. Like these are not, I mean, we could say these taller trees were unaffected, but how do trees stay green in an area where the heat had to exceed 3,000 degrees to melt glass, melt aluminum, and cause a melt from the aluminum so thick it literally rolled away from the car?
Neighborhood that did not, I repeat, did not burn. You can see all these houses are standing around here, unburned. There's no burn here, okay? So to me, this is like something out of someone's dog. Oh,
Yeah, unfortunately.
So now we have another
dog may
vehicle
have
right next
died
to it.
in that vehicle.
Talk to me about this one, Don.
Yeah,
What are you seeing?
Vehicle number 2.
It's symmetrical with the other one.
Yes.
They're pretty much identical. I mean, the heat is just tremendous, tremendous heat. Melting glass, melting metal, incinerating the tires to the point of, the only thing you see is the steel belts, which actually fall apart like spaghetti noodles when you touch it.
So the media is not allowed in here. No one's allowed in Lahaina town. So the only way this message is going to get out right now is if you, until your fingers bleed for America, start sharing this video.
Look what it did to the steering wheel. I mean, all it is the steering column.
We the people is all we got left here. And the more we get the word out and the more people start seeing this crazy anomaly.
The full interior melted. The steering column and the actual steering wheel were so hot, there's nothing left. I need you to understand, there was no fire around these cars. They're by themselves in a field around houses that were not burned. Make
bleed for America, start sharing this video.
Look what it did to the steering wheel. I mean, all it is the steering column.
We the people is all we got left here. And the more we get the word out and the more people start seeing this crazy anomaly, and we're seeing it in a lot of different places. Donovan here has been on a scooter. He was at the scene of the crime the day of the fire. He was helping people, rerouting them away from Lahaina, as the cops had not blocked the southbound traffic until you got almost to Front Street.
Grass.
And notice the green grass here. Now, it's only been 2 weeks. I don't know if that's 2 weeks.
2 weeks of growth?
Is that 2 weeks of growth? We have green grass. You think is that 2 weeks of growth? Okay, maybe it is. But there's a lot of green grass here. I don't know.
Yeah,
someone tell me how fast does grass grow? Is that 2 weeks of growth? Someone dumped some trash in there, right? I wonder who did that. It's kind of weird.
Some nice people.
Some nice people.
Yeah.
Lazy. But if you don't share this story, I don't know who will, man.
It looks like the block is melted.
And what's the block made?
It melted the engine block. That's another thing I wanted you to see. Just in case you're not able to see that, or if you're not like mechanically inclined, they're looking under the hood of that second car. This is a Ford Focus. Like, imagine like a 2002, 2004 Ford Focus getting so hot, literally the engine block melted.
Inside the motor.
Does the hood come up?
Oh, the motor's melted.
The motor's gone.
It looks like the block is melted.
And what's the block made out
of? Probably aluminum.
Probably aluminum.
If it melted, yeah. An iron block usually would hold out a little bit longer.
I mean,
I have such a hard time making this make sense. I know in a lot of ways we're kind of told and manipulated into thinking, hey, don't talk about it. Hey, whatever happened, man, wildfires are crazy, bro. Like, hey, don't worry about it, bro. It is what it is. That shouldn't be the takeaway of what occurred. And if they're only going to be offered $700 or $1,200 from Oprah Winfrey because she feels guilty, guess what? We need to stand up for Hawaii. We need to stand up for Lahaina. So I'm going to play another piece here before I get out of here. This is just to wrinkle the brain, guys, because this is
nuts. Like, when you see this, you're just going to be like, breaking. It's going to break science. If you're a scientist and you understand anything about temperatures and melting points, what we're about to show you is going to change, in my opinion, the whole direction of this entire investigation from what I'm being led to believe, and it just makes logical sense, right?
Yeah, it's almost like there's an incinerator nearby and they just dropped the car off.
All right, so I'm going to turn the camera on what we're walking up on right now. I want you to notice there's a vehicle that's been here since the beginning. It wasn't dropped off here, obviously.
Look at the chair's not melted.
You can see here
it's sitting in the middle.
This is the highest the burn got. Right here. It did not cross the highway. If you look over here, this is the bypass. You can see none of that grass is burned over there. So start to draw some logical conclusions.
Oh, look at.
We're going to show you some more things as we're walking along here.
How did that not disappear? If
this melted, how did that cone not completely disappear? Because if you look at this vehicle, and I want you to notice the burn, the amount of grass, as you can see, that burned and the char marks. This car is basically completely surrounded by gravel, and you can see a small little flames right here when this grass burned. Yet when you turn and look right in this direction, besides seeing Dylan, my technical cameraman, you can see this car. And for all you scientists out there that have been sending me images and you're asking me if they're real, I'm here to tell you, in Jesus' name, what we're showing you is real, live on YouTube. So if you enjoy content like this, we ask you to please immediately like this, share this, and subscribe to the channel. Why? Because you are our only hope of getting this out to the world through the YouTube algorithm. This is a tire that is gone. These are the braids of steel inside the tire. Look at this particular rim. Is it safe to say these are aluminum?
Look at the windshield. What's that?
Are these aluminum?
Yeah, that's cast aluminum wheels.
Cast aluminum wheel, you can see it melted.
And the windshield on the inside?
Look at the windshield. That is a windshield right there that is completely melted. We have some jumper cables in the back of the vehicle. We have some cast aluminum here that's pulverized.
Just dust.
How is that possible for a grass fire that did not come from this direction? Because you can see there's nothing that's been burned over here. What could cause that type of destruction when you have a grass fire on this side that obviously didn't connect? But even if it was a grass fire,
and it's still only half burned. I mean,
yeah, you can see there's even some grass over here that's still standing. It's not even been burned. So even down below, directly below this, you can see some wood fence posts that were burned, but you can see all that grass is still good. So how do you get this car this hot? In the comments section, I need to hear from you guys. Honestly, I need you to hear in the comments section. There's some smart people, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about some intelligent people out there that understand physics, science, melting points, not the nonsense people. We need to just silence the nonsense for a moment. We have provided a statement of work on company letterhead saying that we want to get a drone in the sky. Why? Because we want to start watching these hillsides at night for fire. Yes, we might see what they're doing in that town, but we also want to monitor this because we had a fire start up yesterday in Kaanapali. Whatever it is that caused this, which we don't know, is still trying to cause havoc on this island as we speak. So this threat's not over, the story's not finished. And it's because God Almighty has allowed us to have this type of access to this piece of evidence right now on the side of this highway that's public. And the sheriffs were nice enough to leave us alone. They said we couldn't park here, but why is it that the media is not given access? Is there third-party independent oversight to what's going on? Why is the deputy sheriff, the chief of police still the coroner? There's so many unanswered questions, but I hope that this brings some insight into what limited things we are able to see right now.
Cable right here. There we go.
And quite frankly, this does not make sense. Even if I didn't understand anything about temperature or fires, any logical person can look at this and go, hey,
oh my Lord, look at the motor.
How did this grass fire cause this car to completely melt? Look at this motor.
The manifold.
Where's the manifold?
Right here.
I know, where is it?
It's dust.
And then look at that push pop in there. Completely intact.
What?
Completely intact.
Well, maybe someone came here and had a
Maybe
kid taking pictures or something.
I don't know, it looks like it endured a fire. I don't know.
That is weird though. So this is just pulver. It's literally.
That's the battery.
Oh gosh.
That's lead.
That is lead. That is lead. Oh boy, I'm gonna get that off me.
Yeah. Might not be damaging now. Here's the glass from the lights.
Again, I can't overstate this enough. You guys got to help out right now.
You should never be able to reach into your car bay and just pull out your radiator without having to take apart items or need tools. For any mechanics out there who understand how radiators work, you would assume he would have needed tools to take that out. I want you to visualize that one more time. He puts his hand into the engine bay and literally pulls out the radiator.
Might not be damaging now. Here's the glass from the lights.
The glass from the lights are gone. I mean, just take a good look. Take a good look. The paint's completely fried to the metal. This is not like a sandblasting situation. This is, definitely fire, but the fire has caused this strange oxidation here. Let's say it rained or whatever, which is fine. But what I'm also looking at, all this plastic completely melted away. He was literally able to handle and just grab the front grill, and it came apart like ash. It fell into ash. The battery is burned so much, it is just ash. This is a huge human. This is a human issue, guys. This can kill people if that stuff gets in the air, or let's say the paint oxidizes, becomes a weird oxide, and it's in the air. I mean, yeah, this is super dangerous. Just to even be around is dangerous. This is crazy.
And here comes the cops. Oh boy. Well, if they arrest us, it's going to be on.
We can get a ride from them.
We can get a ride from them. Oh my gosh. No, it's an ambulance. I think we're okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is just beyond unbelievable. So, something that's why I didn't really want to say anything while you were talking.
Sure.
But if you look,
yeah.
How does, and this was in front. So what's in there to get that hot to melt that?
From this little grass fire right here, you mean? Right?
Yeah. I mean, because you know how hard it is to burn stuff inside without oxygen, and it's like in an enclosure.
Closed area.
Yeah, so for it to go inside there.
So I'm just going to put you on the spot. You got any theories?
I haven't seen anything that can do this yet, not personally.
Really? So even in all the outlandish things that you've heard on the internet, is there like
I've seen stuff on movies that could do this.
Right. I have scientists telling me that this is Star Wars.
Yeah, stuff like that.
This is Star Wars level
like
stuff.
The Death Star pointed
Correct.
its gun at us and.
Correct. This is like legitimate scientists. They're telling me, Eric, tell me if these photos and these images I'm seeing are real, because I don't think they can be, because it breaks science. And
yeah,
it's like something that's never been, that they don't understand.
Yeah, definitely like the Death Star pointed its little gun at this thing.
So, I mean, again, I don't believe in this stuff personally, and I don't
That's
know
why
if you do, but could a direct energy weapon do something like this to your knowledge?
I've seen flashlights on TV that burn stuff. That's all I've seen.
Yeah.
But
So
personally, I don't know. No,
Because every time I hear that, I just check out. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, until I see it with my own eyes, I'm very skeptical.
That's the first thing you told.
I'm gonna pause it here for a second, because one last link comes to mind, and I just also want to make it very clear. Some of the ash in that vehicle could have been people. We need to also recognize that, and for the massive loss of life, and obviously, the dangers they've gone through in Lahaina, in Maui, this isn't supposed to happen. And I think the more that we think about it, it's like, hold on, we've never seen this. Not only is it not supposed to happen, but this is something we've never, ever seen. That's different. That's not I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, guys. This is a very wild time. And propaganda's everywhere. I'll be the first one to admit it. And one thing I remember was a podcast earlier this week from PBD, and I'm a Patrick Bet David guy. I love PBD. PBD Valuetainment. I'm a fan, but Michael Flynn said something wild, and I don't think they caught it. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Let's take a look. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm gonna see if I don't have to. If I have to click around a couple times, I'm not gonna go too deep or whatever. But let's see if we can find it. I think it's right around here. They asked him a question about generational warfare fairly early in the podcast. Let me see if I found it.
You know, clearly, Trump wins. We all remember that awkward.
Okay, that's not it. They asked about fifth generational warfare. I think he talks about Trump for a while, talks about the case, the guy. There we go. I think it's right around meow.
Something, and presidential findings are many.
Right there. Nope. Still talking about the case. But he talks about third and fifth generational warfare. It's very, very interesting.
Today we might have 60, 70,000, 500,000 with all kinds of capabilities to go to war. Right? We had maybe 25 to 50 people in the national security team of the White House. When I walk in the door, there's 500 people. 500 people. You swing a cat, you're going to hit somebody that's on the national security staff. You see all these people in the media that sit on places like this, and national security something, right? I mean, so many people. If you need an expert in the White House, you go ask for one. I want an expert on business or entrepreneurship or gold or what. I'll get somebody. I'll reach out to the best in the world, certainly the best in this country. I don't need to have and with this guy. And it's not those who want to get a signed hat. I stand with Trump because right now.
Hold on. We're getting warmer.
Underneath a desert in the middle.
Hold on. We're getting real close. Oh, we're getting close. Oh yeah, we're getting close. Hold on.
After me and other people that I'm now hanging out with about the Christian nationalism. Was to explain to people, for those that want to read it, explain sort of I call it the sort of 5 W's, right? It's what it is that we're involved in. Who are we up against?
I think that's
what can we do about it?
That's it.
Give a test to make you critically think about what you. Yeah. So, and the other part about this is the Citizen's Guide.
They walk on eggshells. Muslims don't walk scared. They don't walk on eggshells. They're bold about their beliefs. They don't sit there and allow people to bully them. They're not tolerant.
A great organization. The leaders at the top, they got no problem juggling multiple.
Nah, I'm sorry. You know what? My bad. I'll come back to you with it because you know what? I might do it as a short. I want to do it as a short to where I can find that link. Because there's a moment he talks about warfare, how war works. He says something profound. I'm paraphrasing. I'm definitely gonna get it wrong. He says something to the like of, a long time ago, we would invade a neighboring body. We knew those guys over there had something we wanted, or they hurt our people in some way, or maybe we knew they wanted something from us. We would go invade them first. The strategy a long time ago was, if they're close, hit them first. Hit them first before they can hit you. Kind of a self-preservation tactic. Think of that as first generational warfare. The guy next to you could do something, so you hit him first before he can hit you. Used to make sense. Second generational warfare is something like, you know what, there's a country over there giving us a hard time, so we're going to put boots on the ground. Long time ago, we put a whole bunch of boots on the ground. Hey, you know what? We're going to put people out there. Those people are going to fight this war. They're going to give us the results that we want because we want something from them, or they want something from us, so we're hitting them first. Very, very simple. we reached third generational warfare probably in the 40s and 50s, and I think that's kind of what he is ascribing to. So General Flynn, who's a 3-4-star general, by the way, is able to explain in detail because he is a doctoral degree owner of warfare. Like he has like a doctorate in warfare. Like, didn't even know they gave those out. But anyway, he did that, right? So turns out this guy, super smart guy, explains third generational warfare. Kind of what we did to the Soviet Union or what we did to Japan. Hit them hard before they hit you. Unfortunately, they hit us with our pants down. That's why the reaction after Pearl Harbor was so intense. It was more of a, oh, you caught us slipping? We're going to hit you 2 times now. So instead of hitting you once, we hit you 2 times. The bombs that were dropped on those countries are mundane in comparison to what we currently have in our arsenal, which is also something he speaks about. We do have a nuclear arsenal that can easily devastate the world. Easily. Like the world. Like, we're not just going to hurt a country. Like, oh, we're not just going to kill Putin. No, seriously. If we hit one of those off anywhere in the world, it will change the world. It will change the climate. It'll probably send us into a nuclear winter. There's just a lot of variables that can occur if we chose to use a bomb nowadays, which yields 83 times as much as the Hiroshima bomb, meaning you're not just taking out an island, you're literally removing something from the face of the earth, and you're probably going to be expelling all of that energy into removing land, water, and everything, and it's going to shoot up into the atmosphere. Nobody wants to have mud rain. So that's third generational warfare. Fourth generational warfare is kind of similar to what we saw, what we saw in Afghanistan. That's perfect example. We send items over there, we bomb it from afar. War from beyond the what do they say? From beyond the horizon. There you go. Beyond the horizon warfare. That's the word. Beyond the horizon warfare. Meaning we have submarines, ships, and currently several pieces of aircraft that can hit you from wherever, from a very far location. Submarines that can easily shoot off missiles into the middle of your country, no matter where you are. That would be considered fourth generational warfare. Shooting something over there, we're not going to invade, we're not putting boots on the ground. We might put some drones in the sky, but we're not going to put boots on the ground. That's fourth generational warfare. What we're currently living through, and this is going to be a piece I find from Michael Flynn. Again, I'm going to find it, and I'll make a short of it. But I'm going to put it here. I'm going to say it myself because I'm not afraid anymore. We're currently living through fifth generational warfare. What that means is that they're currently using the internet, which was developed by DARPA. That's also an agency within the government. And DARPA, the agency within the government that makes and records things, they made cell phones. There's a reason we went from a phone that had a rotary dial, we had to turn a knob, to where we had touch tone telephones, meaning each time you pushed a button and made a sound. That was like super new technology 20 years ago. And then we ended up with cell phones. Now, cell phones have advanced pretty fast, pretty quick. We went from flip phones that had buttons and something to push that at least had buttons on it. And now we're at this. We are at a screen with multiple cameras on it, frontward and backward facing cameras. That goes from Samsung, any of your Android products, Motorola, Apple, Google, you name the brand, they have a flat panel, a flat screen, no button, and a forward and backward facing camera. This was technology that was completely unheard of 20 years ago. Now, 20 years ago, Bond 007 did not have a pocket computer that can do half of what our current cell phones can do. That's a huge statement to make. What I also found interesting about what Michael Flynn says after making these comments about the fifth generational warfare, and also how the propaganda is going to be used against you, and a lot of the social media companies have already been confirmed to have done that. Yeah, and that's going to the Twitter files, Facebook files, things like that. That's a big reason why a lot of military and Hollywood folk do not allow their kids on social media. Fun fact. Now, what's more fun is what he says at the end. Kind of towards the end of this comedy, he's making about 4th and 5th generational warfare. He doesn't mention an end. I found that interesting. He doesn't mention an ending. He mentions it can be intercepted, it can be slowed. He doesn't mention it will end. What he also mentions is the process might already be complete. The propaganda setting of what's been put out there from the CIA, DIA, NSA, these are all just groups and corporations within the bureaucracy of the governmental groups that actually have 100% connection to everything on social media. That includes every single app that's on Google, as well as Google itself. Google itself is also a product of DARPA. Think you have fun with that, looking that up, and it would be owned by the company Alphabet, which, yes, you can look up on the stock exchange. You can't afford it. Trust me, don't try and buy it. But yes, Alphabet, that's who owns Google. There's a link there. There's a there is what I like to say. But since we know there's a there now, we now know that there's a group that's pretty well astute at warfare. 4th generational warfare does make sense for what happened to Lahaina or Maui. I have no way of confirming that. I'm just saying it seems to align. Now, I'll play the videos of Laser Generation another day. But what I will do today is let you know that there's hope. I'm proud of you. We've reached more than 20,000 total views in the lifetime of this podcast. That means the most to me, and I want to thank you. For anyone who's listened this far in, obviously you're awesome. First of all, know that. But also know there's love out there. You know, there's great people out there that really want to help. And for every one person that reaches out and says they want to help you in some way, believe it or not, there's 10 other people right behind that, ready to go. And, you know, willing to join whatever you're doing, willing to be a part of whatever you're being a part of. They may not want to say it all the time. They may not even have the same expressions on text or social medias. But there are people out there that love you, like really love you. And I'm one of them. So I thank you, and I wouldn't have made it here without you, the listener. So you're awesome. You know, you're really what makes this possible, what makes it to where I can make this possible. This has been a collaboration, whether you knew it or not. You know, you can go back and listen to the first episodes and everything and follow it all the way up until now. Good luck with that. I wouldn't do that if I were you. But seriously, I'm just having such a good time knowing that good's going to happen. You know, when bad things happen so much, eventually there's nowhere else to go but up. You can't dig any deeper. They say the saying, I feel like I'm, you know, stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Well, whatever that hard place is, guess what? There's nothing but soft soil and beautiful grass and a beautiful bed, you know, soft linens, you know. I mean, there's nowhere else to go but up. Digging deeper into anger, negativity, the bloodthirstiness of the Democratic Party, or even just the idea that someone else is evil because they don't agree with you because you are a Democrat. That means nothing at this time. That has nothing to do with anything. And if pop culture has showed us anything, when you suck and you're being told you suck, eventually you figure it out. Right about now, Democrats suck. They're not helping us. They're not helping Lahaina. They're not helping. I mean, they want to help Florida now, which is great. But notice, they left Palestine, Ohio, all the way alone. You have an area where you literally contaminated the ground and soil and contaminated the water and possibly have contaminated one of the Great Lakes due to a train derailment. They're currently seeing a die-off of fish all the way up and down the Mississippi River, and we seem to still not give a fuck about policy in Ohio. Very strange. Very, very interesting how that works. We can't have this devastation go unnoticed, and we cannot have this devastation continue. The last thing you're going to want is for your city to blow up in flames overnight or have a train derailment to where you can't drink water anymore. For some people in this nation, that's happening right now. The people in Flint, they still can't drink the water. They've been under a boil water situation for more than 8 years. Some of them 10, 12, 14. Obama paid a lot of lip service to the situation, but didn't do anything at all. And he's from the area. Flint, Michigan is not exactly far away from Chicago. Oh yeah, speaking of Chirac, apparently there was recently another shooting there where several lives were lost. But all we're hearing is there must be gun control. But then if you control the guns of all the citizens, that means all that's left are the bad guys with guns. The Democratic Party is okay with making sure only who they say has guns and the bad guys have guns. But if you're a good guy trying to save good people with a gun, you're bad for that and should go to prison. His name's Derek Penny. You can look up the case in Texas. It's a Derek Penny case. He was a Uber driver who was defending himself against a armed assailant during a riot in Austin, Texas. We shouldn't let that one go because I don't believe he was really, it's very different than the Rittenhouse situation, which is also something very strange. But when it comes to the use of force or the idea to protect yourself, or like I like to call it, self-preservation, that's illegal now. Due to voting or lack thereof, we are living in a time where you cannot defend yourself. There are many cases of people in New York City on the subway who get harassed and abused by others. And if they put their hands on that person, they are going to jail. In some cases, like, I forget his last name, but there was the guy who choked out the guy on the train. It turns out he might be life. Like, he's like still in Rikers Island right now. It's pretty bad. And he stood up for a train full of people. Everyone on the train said he did the right thing. Cops at the time said he did the right thing and let him go. But then the state went and picked up the case and is now trying him for murder, I do believe. To say we live in strange times would be an understatement. But what's not said much is we live in a time of ultimate opportunity. You can literally do anything you want to and make money. There are females right now taking pictures of their feet and making thousands of dollars. There are guys right now finally getting rid of their dumb 9-to-5 job and doing what artistically makes them happy. I've met more musicians in the past 6 months than I've met ever in my life. I've met more creative individuals that are amazing at art that may have never even done it, that may have spent the last 7-8 years in a situation where they may not have done anything artistic at all. I work regularly with a guy who drives trucks for a living. He's a CDL truck driver. Probably one of the most talented guitarists I've ever seen in my life. But we focus on such strange things. What someone wants to wear, whether some girl on TikTok thinks she's a guy. We worry about some strange things. But it shows passion. It means that we give a fuck. When we see that girl with the weird shaved head on TikTok losing her shit, yeah, I'm going to watch it. But I mean, at the same time, we're concerned. it's strange. Why are we doing this? You know. And for all those parents who wants to vicariously live through your child, stop, please. Maybe they won't tell you, but I will. You can cut it out now. For those children of parents who vicariously lived through you, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve it, and it wasn't your fault. Move forward in the best way that you see fit. Anyone that has any other idea, fuck them. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Because for a long time, you were doing what they wanted you to do. There's a there. Lastly, you know, I want to address those that are like me. Those who are in their 30s, taking care of them, people who are in their late 60s. You know, some of us in our 30s are way more mature than a lot of these people who are in their late 60s. So I mean, it's difficult out here, guys. You know, and I've kept my head up because I've kept busy. I took a break because I played music. I had some shows. You know, I was able to meet some amazing people. You know, Carter Creek Winery. Thank you so much for having us. But I mean, it's only the tip of the iceberg, though. Like, this is going to be such a bigger movement because it's going to be a movement. This is going to be a revolution. We are living through revolutionary times. We are going to see the change of our nation for the better. Only if you want it, though. Only if you can get out of your own way, shut your mouth for a minute, and listen. Oh, yeah, fun fact. Black people don't need you to talk for them. That goes for everybody out there. Anybody who's going through some shit, guess what? If you are a victim, deal with it on your own time. Don't put it on me. Don't put it on my culture. And don't put it on people who look like me. It has nothing to fucking do with me. Fun fact. I'm doing great. You know, my energy's awesome. I'm feeling awesome. I'm doing awesome shit. I know I'm awesome. I'm not a fucking victim, dude. Oh, politically, I don't need reparations. I'll take it if you're going to give me free money. I'd prefer land, but beggars can't be choosers. And for the most part, if we're requesting reparations, we're beggars. I try not to beg for things. My name's BG, not beg. So, I mean, there's a lot. I could probably do another hour, you know, just sitting here venting. But I mean, no, seriously, I know everybody out there is awesome in their own way. You know, everybody means well. That's the good part. That's another thing I can look at and almost affirm. I can guarantee that. Like, a lot of people just want to do, they want to do better and they want to feel good. You know, it's hard. It's very, very hard. Like I said, try and find something you're good at, whether it's a craft, a skill, expertise. I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. It could literally be anything. But if you enjoy it, do it. You know, don't let anyone tell you can't. Don't let your job situation make it to where it's impossible. That's never the case. If you have time to listen to me talk for this long, guess what? You have enough time to go learn how to weld. You want to know how much welders make? Just saying. Just an example, you know? I'm not going to be like Bernie Sanders and say you go learn how to code. That's just fucking rude. But I mean, learn something that goes with you forever, you know, something that has a license, transferable skill. Again, welding, you know. That might just be me giving myself advice, you know. But I mean, again, it's for everyone. The wrinkles for everyone. The wrinkles for every age, every soul. And now that we know what we're doing, the best part is now you know pop culture is politics, whether you care about it or not. Democracy cares about you and what you vote for. They care so much. There's multiple polls all the time. You can just turn on TV at any moment. Well, the polls from this place say, well, the NHA poll or the Washington Times poll, the New York Times poll says, the Penn Washington State poll says, I mean, you know, if you've been in statistics class, you know half that shit don't even mean shit. And even then, if you just go to basic math, we can tell the numbers don't even equate to shit because more often than not, it's less than a 3,000 person subject group. So if you're doing a large survey of only 3,000 people, you're not exactly getting a full representation of the whole nation. Yeah, you can do 3,600. That's fine. That's 10%. No, that's 1%. No, that's a decimal of a percent. If there's 370 more upwards of 400 million people in America right now, and they're surveying only 3,600, fun fact, that's less than 1%. And they do that on multiple polls in order to sway what you think, to sway how you feel, to sway who you vote for. I'm gonna find the video, but I'm gonna let you know right now. That sounds like some fifth generational warfare shit. That is some. If I were a maniacal genius, this is what I would do. This is if I were a comic book fucking villain. We're living through that shit right now. I hope you guys love superheroes, because guess what? That's probably what's gonna be the savior of you. It's gonna be some superhero shit. Probably more Batman-esque, you know, not actual superpower, more like super investigating type skill. But even that's good enough. I'll take it. If it can end inflation, I'm down. If it can end constant propaganda of existing racism as though it needs to be squashed out today, if we can end that, I'm down. We can end, these situations in workplaces where we're literally editing what we say, because if we say what we feel, we'll be fired. If we can exit a time where social media is finally free again like it used to be. Does anyone else remember MySpace? It's starting to look like a good place to go, but it's gone. We used to be able to have our own URL locations. We literally had our own websites. Everybody was cool with it. Everybody understood how to use it. There was a complete understanding all around the board of how to use, how to be profitable, and even how to make money on MySpace. Ask Dane Cook. There's so many examples of what to do, what not to do. It's just so strange that people don't see how bad it is. And then when they see it, they may have a couple gripes. You know, my paycheck's not as big as it used to be. You know, rent's going up, but my check ain't going up. Or even just the basics of, I'm going to go get something to eat, and it's not what I used to pay. I'm going to go get groceries, and the gallon of milk ain't what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's ways. We're all seeing it. We're all living through it. We have to eventually say we're fucking done. Saying nothing doesn't work. Keeping our mouth shut at work doesn't work. Telling no one and suffering in silence never gets you change. I'm saying that from a place of, I know what that's like. To suffer in silence, to know for a fact something's wrong, but not say anything about it to get it changed. Not to suffer, but never actually open your mouth to say stop. Unfortunately, that's where our nation is right now. You know, there are concerts out there, there's bands out there, there's music out there, a plethora of music, where we used to be told, even by the musicians, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. You know, we used to be told, this means war. You know what I mean? Even if you're a Linkin Park fan, like, something about that Meteora album, some like Breaking the Matrix shit. Like, I mean, it's just, we were given so many tools. Even DMX said, I'm tired of being gangster. So I want to get this money. I want to get right. I want to get clean. I want to finally stop doing drugs. I want to finally get where I need to be for my kids. We've been given every tool we need. But it's up to you to use the tools. Go back into the playlist if you have to. Go back into the music if you have to. Go back to your family that recognizes what is real if you have to. Go find a new family if you have to. Well, we have to do something. Because sitting around and being quiet and suffering in silence is definitely not working, and it's not helping nobody's pocket. If you want some motivation and you have no idea where to go, believe it or not, check out Hamilton. It's completely free on YouTube. You can actually listen to the whole thing. The visuals are nice, you know, having the apps and whatnot to see the actual Hamilton play is very nice to see. Play that album though. Play that album from beginning to end. Just try it. A lot of us don't have an album we can go to and just put it in and play it. If you don't have an album right now that you can just put in, play it, and it makes you feel better when it's over, you can choose any music you want. Trust me. I mean, if you already got that, do what you got to do. But if you don't have that, if you're still looking, if you're still, or if you just want something new, maybe, you know, hey, I've been listening to the same old Meshuggah album and holy shit, it's just not kicking me in my ass like it used to. If Meshuggah's not kicking you in the ass like it used to, or if Mastodon is not, you know, getting you where you need to go, seriously, check it out. Hamilton, it holds up. It's amazing. It's a very, very great play, great songs. It's historically valuable. I wouldn't say it's completely historically accurate, but it's valuable in the way of you're listening to and hearing from the originators of the nation, hearing how they may have interacted, maybe if you added a DJ. But I mean, it's something so different, you know, to think we've only been a country less than 300 years. The city of San Antonio is older than the nation. The nation was codified in 1776. Yeah. San Antonio was already here. Like, we were already a city. It's very strange. Of course, you know, becoming a state happened later. But even with that being said, you know, 17, 18, 19, 20. If we're 300 years, then we're older than the capital. Maybe not the whole country. But even then, I do believe that there was a Spanish historical value, and even a French lineage of San Antonio being a place then, before 17 something. You know what I'm saying? There's old maps in the 1500s that show San Antonio. They don't show Austin and they don't show Houston. Ha! But no, seriously, I mean, there was just trails and, you know, you're talking about the, you know, untamed West, if you will. And yeah, there are old maps that do depict what is now the Hill Country, what is now San Antonio. I live in a very rich city with a very rich history. We live in a very rich country with a very rich history. Think about which parts of that history you want to hold with you. You might be making yourself into a victim just because you don't know how to let shit go. And a lot of the history and historical value of lineages and whatnot in Texas, it really kind of doesn't matter right now. It's 2023. You know, we can go back as long as you want to, but the thing is, do you care about now? You know, you can learn about all the history you want, all the future you want, learn about all that. But are you happy with now? The right now. Like, if you're still listening to this, I mean, wow, you're awesome, but you have to be okay with the now then. This only happens in the now, where you start to have the understanding that you are in the now and you're not in the yesterday or tomorrow. You're in the now. You're hearing this right now, so now you're able to think about the now. Maybe you have something you deal with later. Maybe you have to go make food. Maybe you have to go to work, help the kids, do the dishes, change the baby, take the dog out. Maybe you have a lot of things you need to do, but the thing is, are you living in now, in the right now? Not focused on weeks from now or months from now, but living in the now, because the now needs you. The right now needs a lot of minds. And you know, I can sit here all day until my face turns blue and tell you who to vote for. The thing is, I'm not even telling you what to do. I don't do propaganda. I don't get paid like that. Trust me, I don't get paid like that. But I mean, really, really, be more in the now. Be active in the now. Find out what's going on. Look around. Open your eyes for a minute. Politics are happening and you're not being a part of it. The last thing you're going to want to do is to not be a part of this, a whole bunch of new rules that you didn't vote for. I can help you get educated. I can help you get to those places. I can even put all the resources out there, but a lot of it's going to be up to you. You're going to have to do the reading. You're going to have to do the listening. You can go to the data dump. I have all the data there. It's all laid out right there in video format. But I also had a good conversation with a friend of mine, and he made a good point. We have short attention spans. It's a nationwide, probably worldwide problem. I've heard people say things as crazy as, I cannot watch a movie. I can only watch my phone. I heard a girl in passing, you know, I wasn't speaking to her or anything, but in passing, you know, like I'm passing her up or whatever, and I hear her on the phone and she's telling her boyfriend or guy or telling someone of the opposite sex, obviously, oh my God, you're so funny, but I can't watch that. I'm lucky to get through a 5-minute video short on YouTube. I don't know what you sent me, but I can't watch that. And as she walked away, I heard, ew, that's what you sent me? So I can only imagine what this other person of the other gender may have sent. But I mean, apparently it was longer than 5 minutes. But no, seriously, I mean, it's just, you know, we've come such a long way and we're fucking it up. You know, we've had these technology advances, these leaps in how we use technology, how we communicate, and we still choose to use text messaging like fucking idiots. Like, I mean, I'm not hating on anybody and I ain't talking shit, but I've had to deal with it myself, you know, literally telling a friend of mine, dude, you gotta stop writing them books, homie. Cause yo, you write me in paragraphs, bro. Like I gotta sit there and scroll through the message. I can't just read it like, okay, how you doing? I'm doing good. It's not a back and forth conversation. It's these essays, these synopsis of feelings. It's these full grandiose ideas of, I need you to understand where I'm coming from. But you're putting it all in text message form. If you have an idea, email me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be something we save, go back to, and we can have a chain of information so it makes sense. When you're just sending those long threads to friends, it probably doesn't help. At the end of the day, I'll say it again, I'm probably just giving advice on myself. But along with myself, I think we could all learn something here. We could all be aware of something here. We can all have something to share here. Maybe you didn't know what was going on in Maui. You can share that. Maybe you didn't know what was going on with politics. Yo, check out Mitch McConnell, straight up freezing. Or maybe the best thing you took away was the quote from Mark Twain. Whatever it may be, it did something. And that's all I'm trying to do. Get on here at least as much as I can and at least do something. Say something. Have substance. That's what sucks about rap right now. That's what sucks about a lot of music. They're not saying anything. Just keep in mind, 1 year ago, the #1 song in the world was WAP. W-A-P, Wet Ass, Finish It Off. That was the #1 song in the world 12 months ago. People are mad at Oliver Anthony because his song says things. But it's like, if you're mad at that basic shit, then there's something wrong with you. If you're okay with what's happening in the nation, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, money can make you very comfortable. But comfortable enough to ignore what our president's doing? The words he is unable to say? Mitch McConnell falling asleep at the wheel. I mean, dude, guys, it's kind of move time right now. This is kind of, get your ducks in a row. Shit's going down time right now. This is kind of like, I don't want to alarm you, but since you new to this political thing, since you ain't been part of it, I need you to know it's getting fucked up down here. You gotta believe me. Look at it for yourself. Check your own paychecks. Check your rent. Check your budget. Do you even have a budget? Just think about that shit. Like I said, I can go on for hours. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave to give all this to you. It's a gift. It's free. I don't charge for this. If you want to donate, appreciate you. If you want to support the page, you can always do that on Spotify. There's a Spotify link right there for support. Or if you got a internet browser, go to, I don't even think the old link works. Yeah, you would just have to go to the support page through Spotify. But yeah, once you find a new wrinkle on the brain, there's some options there. Something yearly, annually. I mean, even if you want to do monthly, I don't care. It can be as little as $1 or as much as whatever you want to make it. But it all goes back into the podcast. I never take a payment from this. I'm not getting paychecks from this. I ain't getting paid. I ain't rich or nothing like that. But I'm just like you, concerned citizen, a individual that knows something's wrong, but no one's ever gonna listen to me. I know the feeling, but apparently now people are listening. And jobs, businesses, life, the universe. Yeah, it's felt for a long time that no one was listening. Now I'm being heard though. I got the numbers to verify it, so be mad because guess what? I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I've seen podcasts begin and end in the time that I've been around. I've seen people go from amazing presenters to complete bullshit. I don't know what's going on with Crystal Ball and from Rising. I don't know what's going on with Kyle Kalinske of his own show. If anyone's ever followed David Pakman, oh my God. I don't know what happened to that boy, but he is broken. Oh, gee. You talk about a guy that needs to take a year off. That dude has some issues. Like, he really needs to deal with some internal stuff. But watching the PBD podcast and the Michael Flynn interview and even the Krasenstein brothers interview, oh my God, you talk about insightful. I've never seen a pair of true idiots like that in quite some time. You would always think if you saw brothers that were idiots, you would always think like Alice in Wonderland, the two soldiers that always made moves for the Queen of Hearts. Rewatch that movie. They're both fucking idiots. They have no thought process at all. The definition of NPC. I don't know. Take that as an insult if you want to. I don't give a fuck. At this point, it's late. I'm chilling. I'm kicking it. Appreciate y'all though. You know what? Really do appreciate y'all. If you haven't heard it today, I love y'all. Every single one of you, man, woman, whatever you want to call yourself. Children, I don't do that. No, love your own children. Do that. But no, seriously, I really do appreciate that everyone's here and that I've been able to do it for this long, that I've done it. And I'm going to keep doing this because we're living in a very strange time. And if the wrinkle on the brain helps, I'm all about that. If I'm able to provide solutions, I'm all about that. If I'm able to just entertain you for a minute and make it to where it's not so hard, I'm all about that too. But I do want to thank you. I appreciate it. I don't want to get all sappy and whatnot, start crying. It's so hard. But no, it gets better. If it's still hard for you, or if you're going through some stuff right now, because I know a lot of friends that are. I have some friends that lost some family, and a lot of families that lost some friends. And I think something I've said by accident, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Give yourself some grace. You know, give yourself some time. You know, don't be hard on yourself. But I think one of the best phrases I've been using lately is get out of your own way. It's powerful. Say it to yourself. You'd be surprised on what that does. But you also have to do it. It's a verb, something you do. It's not just something you say, it's something you do. Once again, get out of your own way. But until the next one, guys, I appreciate you. I'm BG here from A New Wrinkle on the Brain. Until the next one, I will see you on A New Wrinkle on the Brain.